What a weekend it has. What a week it's been. One of the most insane. It's almost like we say this weekly, where there's so much going on at once. From the urbanists finally getting the national exposure that they've been asking to privileged white leftists going and making a fool of themselves down in a gutter communist in really the bloated remains of the zombie state that is Cuba. We'll be talking about that and more tonight. This is Apostate Radio, episode number 48. I am, of course, your host, Isaiah Carter, coming to you from the suburbs of New York City. My co-host, Mr. Nostra Chavez, he will be on shortly. He's coming in. He's running a little bit behind. It's okay. But let's go. Yes, JB, back again. Yes, absolutely. This has been a fantastic. It's been a very, very busy week. A bit frustrating. Oh, there's Nino. Been a bit frustrating on my part in terms of like the algorithm on X is just like kicking my ass, and I know several other creators. Here's Nino. What's good, brother? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How you doing? Can you hear me?
I'm good. Yeah, I can hear you. Actually,
okay, good. Yeah, let me get
turn up your
get
gain
my mic close. I sound better now or no?
You still sound pretty low.
All right, let me
turn your gain up. I learned that little trick today.
Ooh,
well, no, I'm sorry. Earlier this week. Gain is your volume going into the mic, and then the slider volume on my mixer here. That's the output going out. So it's just learning production of audio production on the fly is incredible. Lockjaw 45. Sub Isaiah Nino.
Do I sound better now?
How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see
you. Hey,
you.
What's up, Lockjaw?
And this guy, the NPC. Okay. Yes, I love this show. These guys think things straight. Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Big show tonight. And of course, let me just get through this little bit of business first. So of course you can follow us on the socials, Isaiah L. Carter across all of my own platforms. Then Nino Chavez X, you can follow him on X, as you see there. Also, Apostate Radio NY is our show page. You can follow for all of your, for any show updates that we might have coming up. But if you feel so inclined, to support us financially, buymeacoffee.com/apostate radio is still up. For how long, I don't know, but we're working on it. We're trying to, we're really moving along. We're trying to move the show along here as best we can. Of course, the Apostate Radio Venmo is Apostate Radio NY. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, our Rumble channel. We've got a bunch of stuff going on in the next several weeks. Let's get to it, man. Coming to us today, tonight rather. It's been there've been a lot of voices in conservatism. The voices are diversifying. There's always been a conservative. There's always been a presence amongst those of us who are Black, Hispanic, or whatever. But over the last several years, some pretty big names have come out, have developed their own platforms and everything. Oh, Ryan Miller, hold on. We got an apostate. We got an Apostate Radio here. He says, I'm a former apostate myself. Good for you, brother. Welcome.
Oh, you're in the right place.
Yeah, you are. This is the place to be. This is the place to be. But let me go ahead and without further ado, because I want to let him introduce himself. instead of doing all the talking. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to us live, Mr. Damani Felder. What's happening, brother? How are you?
Isaiah and Nino, it's good to be here. Thank y'all for having me. These are crazy times to be in, but I'm happy to be a part of this show this evening. Looking forward to discussing solutions. Looking forward to really trying to get to the next level, because a lot of the times we have these conversations and they can stop very quickly. So I'm hopeful we'll be able to actually more adequately deduce what is going on and how we can actually fix it and really present actionable solutions. I think now more than ever, a lot of people are looking for what they can do. And I hear that question posed to me all the time. What can I do to get involved? I'm here in Texas, for those who don't know, but individuals in Texas might not be as inclined to be as politically active as individuals who are actively living through a lot of the turmoil that we are seeing in more blue states, if you will. So hopefully we'll be able to present some solutions, or at least provide some hope for individuals out there who do feel like they are alone, because they are not. If anything, the individuals who do stand up for and support freedom are more unified than ever before. The right individuals are, and I'm sure we'll talk about that here in a minute. But thank you so much for having me, and looking forward to this conversation.
Awesome, brother. What got you started?
Honor to have you, brother.
Yeah, it is an honor to have you, dude. I guess I can ask you this kind of get things started here. What got you started in content creation and in the conservative space? What led you to this point? What brought you what brought you here to this point?
Well, I was homeschooled for all 12 years before I went to Texas A&M University. I studied marketing there, but while I was there, those were between the years of 2010 and 2014. And that was when we started to see a little bit more of the social justice warrior being born in real time. And one thing I'm grateful for is that during my years in grade school, even, my parents insisted on having me in Youth Toastmasters, which is a public speaking organization or group. So they taught me how to defend my beliefs very quickly and do so without a lot of the, maybe verbal crutches or so on that a lot of people sometimes will fall privy to. So I felt like I was already well versed in speaking. I grew up in a home that was Republican, obviously, but I didn't really remember very much beyond every couple of years my parents would have, the what do you call them? The Republican National Convention. I remember seeing that vividly with George W. Bush. So starting to see some of the political arena, if you will. But then I remember vividly sitting on my couch up in Dallas, Texas, when Trump came down that escalator and he started speaking. And I remember I was just laying down on my couch, kind of not really doing very much. And then by the end of his speech, I was sitting up and I said, this doesn't sound like what I'm used to hearing, what I heard for, several years before, just passively. So from that point on, I said, this sounds refreshing. It sounds very blunt. And I firmly believe that the things you need to do to change the country aren't always going to be the things that maybe sound the best, but they still need to be said. So from that point on, I started to see other figures in the conservative movement, if you will, even like Diamond and Silk. And I realized, they are using a platform, they're speaking, and they're just normal humans created in God's image like I am. So what is holding me back from that? At the time, I had dipped my toes a little bit into just talking about politics on Facebook alone. But the more I kept doing it, the more I realized that maybe this is just God giving me a very thick skin, but I didn't really care very much what the backlash or acrimony might look like. But I still was able to find myself in that space and then begin creating my own content. I taught myself how to do everything that I have done from the standpoint of creating content online and just being willing and bold enough to say, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring, put some skin in the game, and let the chips fall where they may. And God's been good. So I've been blessed to amass a good following on several social media platforms, which I think it's becoming a very difficult thing to do. But I'm grateful that I have the ability to hopefully reach other individuals with the truth and to go a step beyond just the very basic or sophomoric conservative versus liberal, because things are far more nuanced than that. And I think, if anything, one of the most positive things Trump has done just by being Trump is help individuals realize that it is not as simple as a binary choice between right and left. There truly are individuals in the country on the right and left side of the aisle who do not have the best interest of their constituents at heart. So it is of paramount importance for us to call those individuals out, be aware of it, and disseminate that information as best we can, and utilize these tools like X, like Facebook, like Instagram, like YouTube, to our advantage to actually spread that truth and use the enemy's own tools against them. So a little bit about me. I've been doing this now for about a little more than 10 years. And it's just a blessing and honor to find more individuals, because one thing I will say out there too is a lot of people are afraid of starting. They're afraid of the vitriol they might be subjected to. But once you get over that hump, there's individuals out there like yourself, Isaiah, like you, Nino, who I never would even have had the chance to speak to, the honor and privilege of having a conversation with, if I had not been willing to put myself out there and see what happens. So anyone out there who is all on the fence, they're saying, maybe I don't know if I should do this or not, just start. I promise you this, because it's very easy to snuff out 3 voices if the social media powers that be chose to snuff our voices out. But the hope would be that we were able to lead by example, and there'd be other individuals who'd be willing to pick up that slack and carry that torch on forward, because this is a fight that is not just going to end necessarily when, let's say, Trump is out of office. This is not a fight that's going to end in the next 5 years or 10 years. This is going to be a lifelong fight that you have to show up for every single day for the rest of your life. And that is a lot of responsibility. You will feel the weight of that responsibility, but it is far more preferential to be actively involved in this fight and standing up for what is right, regardless of the backlash, than it is to just sit back and say, I don't feel like putting myself potentially even in harm's way. One of the quotes that I prefer best is, I'd prefer a dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. And what's unfortunate is some people would rather have that peaceful slavery where they don't want to rock the boat, but the boat needs to be rocked. And there's no better time than the present to actually do that. So I will yield back, but thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to this conversation this evening.
Thank you, bro.
To go on what you're saying there, Damani, it's a quote that comes to mind is we need people to help spread the risk, I think is the phrase. I think that's something like that. Spread the risk of speaking out. So the more people who speak out, then it's less of a chance you're going to get canceled or, Charlie Kirk or, assassination or something like that, because, there's so many people speaking out. It's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? Kill one person and, 100 more or 1,000 or 1,000,000 more sprout up, or cancel one person, there's going to be more people coming. So like, if everybody spreads that risk along by doing their democratic duty, really, to speak their mind, try to be informed first before doing that, and proceed with virtue, I think, right? And know your history. But if you do that, then then you keep it so people who are unwise or unscrupulous don't govern you and don't have power over you, hopefully. And we get to keep the country going in the right direction, rather than what we've been seeing from the far left, which they clearly want to tear down the country, abolish the Constitution, abolish the police, bring back racism in a big way. That I feel like we haven't seen in our generation. How old are you, Damani?
I am 34.
34. Okay, so you're wow. a little younger than we are. I'm around 41, something like that.
43.
Isaiah's around that time. Yeah, but I feel like since I was a young guy in college and stuff, I feel like racism was really kind of dying out. Like, obviously there's people who are gonna be racist. That's not going to go away. Racism is a thing, or being bigoted or whatever is a thing in humanity, right? But wasn't really systemic, and it really wasn't like a big deal. Like, I think Chappelle's show really exemplified that in a big way. Like the popularity of it. He was just like making fun of every race of people. Everybody was having fun together, laughing about it. And it's since then we've gotten very sensitive about everything, and it's become honestly pretty racist. I see a lot of racism against white people. It's very accepted. Anti-Semitism, of course, and of course against and racism against Black, Latino people, minorities who are conservative, like an immense amount of racism and bigotry towards them from the left, usually, right? I'm sure you've seen quite a bit of that.
I definitely want to talk about that.
Yeah, like that's an interesting thing to talk about. I think, like, I know in my perspective, they'll say things like, I'll see things like, oh, you're the white people are never going to accept you, or something like that, or they're gonna deport you. And I'm like, I'm an American citizen. Nobody's gonna fucking deport me, for one thing, and two, like, I've never had any issue with white people my whole entire life. So, and I think, I'd like to hear what your experiences are too, guys. But I mean, I'm sure somebody who's probably said something racist or kind of insensitive once in a while, but I imagine it's probably a bit more exaggerated, quite a bit exaggerated, the way that the left puts it, the way the left portrays it, or the way you see it in media or portrayed in media or movies or whatever. That it's really not that. It's kind of been the left has been seeming to want to resuscitate racism and that sort of thing. That's how I see it. But what do you guys think?
I mean, real quick before I answer that, it's so crazy because Damani, I actually see a lot. We have a lot in common already. You were homeschooled most of your life. I was homeschooled for all but one grade, and that was second grade.
Wow,
that's crazy.
Love it.
Wow.
I know you're homeschooled, is there? You never told me that.
I thought I told you. Yeah,
I mean, maybe you did a long time ago. I don't remember hearing that.
Yeah,
remember that?
I was homeschooled for all but second grade, and my other brothers were homeschooled throughout their entire
interesting
their entire K through 12. So this is so this is actually pretty cool. I am interested in hearing Damani, like with you being down in Texas. What has your experience been, if any, as a black man dealing with white liberals down there? I mean, I don't know if you live. I don't know where exactly, like what part of Texas you live in. You can tell us if you wish, but like, what are you seeing down there as opposed to say what? Because I could go on all day about what I've seen up here in New York. So, please, what's your experience been down there?
Yeah, well, I'm in the Houston area now, but what's really interesting is, for those of you who don't know, I actually am an Air Force brat myself. Both of my parents were in the Air Force, so we moved around. By the time I moved to where I am now, that was my 22nd move. So do the math on that. We're talking probably about a move every year, if not every 18 months. So Very familiar with different parts of the country. We were in San Antonio 3 separate times. We've been in Biloxi, Mississippi, but the through line through all that really is, and I'm sure y'all have seen this as well, is particularly around 2014. From then on, we started to see a very naked disregard for differences of opinion as it pertained to individuals who do come from minority backgrounds, who do espouse conservative values. And make no mistake, being a conservative or those conservative values actually are the very things that helps many in our own communities achieve a level of success that our ancestors would have been very proud of. But it's very sad that the physical chains of the past, from those Democrats back in the day, even those Southern Democrats, those physical chains have been exchanged for ideological, mental chains that many seem far too comfortable with putting on themselves. So the racism, the histrionics from the left, they honestly, to me, are particularly amusing at this point, because if there's anything that people should know, it's that the leftist insult playbook, if you can call it that, is very short. You will hear a couple different phrases, a couple different terms. And then once they exhaust those terms, there's nothing else that they can do or say to you that you haven't already heard before. I picked up on this very quickly. So I learned even back when I started to speak out more boldly back in 2015, 2016, okay, they're going to call me an X. They're going to call me a Y. They're going to call me a Z. Okay, if that doesn't really bother me, it never did. I got a thick skin anyway. So what else do you have? And the more I realized that was all they did have, the more it helped me realize that I must be doing something right, because these people are literally short-circuiting in real time. So I don't sweat. I don't sweat it when people, call me a racial pejorative or slur. I actually, in a weird way, I prefer it. I'm just like, please just take the mask off. Stop pretending you're my friend. You care when you don't. So the best way that you can expose yourself and expose the true intentions of what your party has become is to be exactly who you are. So if you're going to use a slur, in public towards me or on social media, good. I like it. And guess what? I have something that I share on social media. It's called, what do I call this new series? hater of the month. That's what I call it. So I'll pick 3 different hateful messages that I get on a monthly basis, and I just like share them with my folks. Just say, yep, this is who they are. They haven't changed. They are not changing. And to me, I find it entertaining. And I think one of the reasons that vitriol is so ubiquitous is because the hope is from the left side of the aisle is that if I just call this person X or Y or Z, they'll just shut their mouth. And they really don't know what to do when they don't get that reaction they're looking for. So the best thing I can do is let them do exactly what they always have done throughout history. And then let me hopefully use that as a mirror to show other individuals, this is who you're allying with. Is that really who you are? And let them make that decision for themselves. So to me, I think it's all good. And I prefer it. And the more we see them expose how they really feel towards individuals who do dare to have a difference of opinion, the better, in my estimation.
And they kind of also real quick. I just want to say real quick. It's just when people start calling you names and stuff, that usually just shows that they lost the argument already, anyways. But go ahead, Isaiah.
No, I mean, for the benefit of the audience, there are 3 main insults that the left comes up with, and I find them hilarious. I find them honestly, I find the left's pejoratives like rather amusing at this point. They either call you a coon or an Uncle Tom, right? They do the whole race traitor nonsense. Okay. I've seen some people, like a lot of people like who are close to me, they'll go, well, you're not standing, like you ain't standing with your people. I'm like, standing with my people how? Oh, you mean continuing in the culture that's continued to bring us down? You mean staying, keep voting for the same people who have led us in this in this manner for however many years? We don't do anything different, but it's like, but to quote unquote stand with your people, that seems to be, stand for the status quo. And they love saying that. And then the last one I love is well, they'll never accept you. Like, I say this all the time. Let me back up real quick. In groups and getting cast out of them are something that keep leftists up at night. I'm going to say that again. In groups and getting kicked out of them are things that leftists worry about more than anyone else. So every time, folks, when someone tries to, especially to my black conservatives out there, if someone tells you that that they'll never like you, please understand that is a projection. And it's funny, Damani, how much of the stuff that the left come up with that really just sound like borderline personality disorder. Like they literally sound like personality disorders. It's like once you see it, you can't unsee it. I don't know if are you seeing something like that as well?
Yeah, it's really funny to see them do the same thing over and over again, thinking it's going to get them any further. And what's really sad is the lengths they go to try to get you to identify with your people. But the one thing that people should be very cognizant of is that whenever they make these appeals to you, oh, you're going against your people, what they are always talking about are those most injurious stereotypes. Oh, well, if you are for example, if you're a black person, right, then, oh, you should be all about all those worst aspects of your culture that honestly keep us in a box that is ultimately self-defeating. Those are the same thing to individuals who have Hispanic ancestry. They want you to identify with that which destroys you. And they want you to feel that if you go against those negative stereotypes, then that makes you a traitor to your race. When those very stereotypes are what is keeping individuals in your race from actually improving their station in life. Because when you identify with that collective whole, when you have that crabs in a bucket mentality that ultimately is almost weirdly self-enforced at this point.
Yeah.
It's almost tantamount as if back in the actual slavery days, there were individuals who would rat out, slaves who did escape because they wanted to be in the good graces of the plantation owner, right? They have so inculcated us to this notion of self-policing and self-destruction that many individuals will attack one of their own who's trying to tell them it doesn't have to be this way. But in their view, they view that as an attack against the self. So what does that tell you? That tells you that many of these individuals, many of these minorities have absorbed this mentality that all I can ever be is the embodiment of these negative stereotypes. But then think about how much deeper this goes. Then that allows you to adapt to that negative stereotype, and then start to breed or harbor a sense of contempt when you do not achieve your full potential, not realizing that identifying with these stereotypes is what's keeping you down in the first place. But then what the left will do is they will co-opt that anger or that outrage or that frustration, and they will try to have you point the finger at someone else, like a white person, for example, and say that's the reason, when the reason always comes from within and what you have chosen to ascribe yourself for. So that's what I try to explain to people is like, this is very deliberate. It's not by happenstance, not by accident. They are doing this very specifically, very strategically, because they've seen how well this works, and they are loath to give up their stranglehold on the minority demographic. But what's really interesting is the shift that we're seeing take place, because now we're on the heels of Black History Month was just a couple weeks ago, right? How much harder?
Wait, that was a thing?
Apparently. I mean, it used to be a big thing, but the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of it last month either. Just go ahead.
Exactly. But the reason I point that out is because what is that telling you? The writing's on the wall. The left realizes, okay, the Black demographic, largely, we have a stranglehold on them. Their population base is not growing because guess what? Margaret Sanger's tactic worked. They exterminate themselves before they're even born. So let's do this now. Let's spend more of our effort, more of our energy throughout the month of February, focusing on the next target victim class, which we all know is illegal immigrants. They went so much harder for illegal immigrants than they did for African Americans during Black History Month. And it's such a ridiculous thing to acknowledge, but you have to acknowledge it because that is what they're telling you. Hey, we're moving on from you. Like, there's more to gain from locking down the Hispanic community, the illegal immigrant community, than there ever has been from the Black community. So let's go over there, focus our efforts over there. Let's get them all out in the streets, rioting in sub-zero temperatures up north in Minnesota, of all places. You wouldn't believe this. While all that craziness was going on, I was actually in Dallas late January, early February. We had individuals out in the streets in Dallas, Texas, protesting against ICE, literally almost 1,000 miles away from Minnesota. Tell me why they're doing that, right? But it's because this is their focus. This is the new victim class. This is the new target. And they are going to go hard against that demographic because there's so much more to gain. That's honestly a shame, but it shows how effective it was that they were able to lock down the Black community, get us to destroy ourselves, and move on to the next ones in the line.
I find it's what I find.
Isaiah's been saying the same thing, Damani, just by the way, for about at least a year or two, I think, at least. Definitely more recently, a lot.
The day,
preaching to the choir here.
Yeah, you are. But like up here in New York, I've been talking about this for at least the last 2 years. Okay,
at least, yeah.
Black folk are like the Democrat Party are done. Okay, they're done. Folk, they are done with blacks. I don't know how many times I got to say this. Okay, maybe I'll say it a couple more times this week if you didn't get it. But when Damani, I don't know what they're doing down there in H-Town. By the way, I love Houston. I was down there 4 years ago. I love that city with all my heart. Shout to the Marshall family. Love y'all. Shout out to
Paul Wall.
Yeah, shout out to Screwed Up
Slim Thug.
Because I love that place. Anyway, no, bro, I'm so serious right now. DJ, oh my God,
still tipping, man.
I don't want to get too distracted for a minute because oh my God, I love Houston. Once I started to see Damani that with Democrats warehousing illegals in black neighborhoods. I often tell the story of my own neighborhood that I lived in down in Brooklyn. I was in Brownsville, Brooklyn for about 5 years. And there were like 4 homeless shelters, 4 large apartment buildings that had been converted into homeless shelters for either men or women and children, because they keep them separate. Every single around 2022, 2023 is when I started to notice that those apartment buildings, they had shipped out all of the people, the veterans and the homeless who had actually been who were actually in those facilities, and it was all migrants. It was all illegals. Like the more scooters that were parked out in front of the buildings, like you knew wherever the scooters were parked out front, that's when you knew that the place was full of illegals. I've told this story so many times. They park them right in black neighborhoods. The reason why they did that, folks, is again because for one, congressional apportionment. We've talked about this before, and then also they've been trying to get illegals the right to vote here in the city of New York, and really in the state more broadly. They've been trying to get illegals the right to vote after 60 days of residence. And they've been doing this. I have never, again, I said it was 2 weeks ago. I have never in my life seen the Democrat Party go so hard for illegals and Muslims. They have never gone this hard for blacks. It's been cruise control. It's like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and say, it's like we gave you N-words, the civil rights movement. We gave you the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act. We gave y'all all that. What more do you people want?
Yep.
That's just been the thing.
Well, they gave us just enough. And you think about it throughout history, they gave us just enough. And what's very insulting is that they view us as extraordinarily Pavlovian. All they have to do, and this Chuck Schumer literally did this a couple of days ago. He comes out here, he's talking about Jim Crow 2.0. What is the reason for that messaging, if not to evoke some sort of ancestral anger? That's really what it is. It's like, okay, black people are so Pavlovian. This is their mentality that all we have to do is say racism, say racist, say Jim Crow, and they will literally do whatever we want them to do. And, I saw a comment come in on the chat. I think it was from Leningrad. He said, how do we fight against collectivism if it's so effective? And the answer to that question really is a return to individualism, a conscious return to that. And the best way to make this happen, in my estimation at least, is to engage with individuals one-on-one, preferably in person if you can. And what I mean by that is all you have to do, the whole era of arguing or shouting with people, that's kind of played out at this point. But if you're able to sit down with someone face to face, let's say, for example, a black Christian male, just sit down with him and ask him, hey, if you have a son and you send your son off to school and he comes home wearing a dress, how does that make you feel? Just ask some basic questions. If you're able to engage with someone one-on-one and just ask them very direct, very pointed questions that don't give you the ability to prevaricate or to evade the question, people will figure out real quick maybe that they're conservative, but they at least are staunchly opposed to that which has become the crux of the liberal agenda. So where does that put them? It allows them to at least move a little further to the middle and say, maybe I shouldn't be aligning myself with an agenda that I actually don't agree with when I am forced to confront these ideas one-on-one. But I could have a whole conversation about how the very same way that we pass so much legislation in this country is much the same way. It's intended to be this huge laundry list of X, Y, or Z, where individuals then can pick and choose bits and pieces they like or don't like. I've been a huge proponent of single issue bills for a really long time. If we can simply rally individuals together, our officials, do you support X? Yes or no? Okay, move to the next one, right? But all of this is all smashed together into these crazy, huge, long 1,000-page bills. And we wonder why we can't get anything done. And it's deliberate, it's frustrating, it's intentional. But the best way to fight against collectivism is a return to conscious individualism. In doing so, by having those intentional one-on-one conversations, where individuals cannot hide behind something nebulous in order to shroud what their true intentions or feelings really are.
Absolutely.
Damani, I got a question. The Pavlovian thing. When you're talking about Schumer trying to do the same old trick, how many, in your opinion, how many black people do you think in America are falling for that still?
Far too many. It's unfortunate. I would say the unfortunate reality is probably at a 70% clip.
Do you think it's declining though in like recent years, or?
I wish I could say it was, but the data says something different every 2 years, every 4 years. There has been a market shift, no matter how imperceptible. There has been a shift away from the most radical tenets of the Democrat Party. But think about it, it almost doesn't matter at this point because of what we just talked about with them ingratiating themselves so much to illegal immigrants. It's almost like, well, they've done the damage to us. Maybe we'll figure ourselves out one day. But I would venture to say for the black community, if you want to call it that, it's probably going to take the better part of another generation and a half before we start to see huge shifts away. And that's just because, one of the most frustrating things about us is we will stick together right off a cliff. We've seen it happen time and time again. One day we'll get it right. But by the time that happens, who knows? By then, maybe they'll have imported 55 million illegal immigrants into here. It won't even matter at that point. But they know that day is coming, which is why they're hedging their bets and preparing for what's to come.
Well, that's if the Democrat Party even exists in the next 30, 40 years, which personally, I'm not convinced it is.
Yep.
No, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not convinced of it. And the reason why I'm not convinced of it is because you don't burn this brightly. You don't burn through all of this political capital unless you were pretty sure that the end was near. Robert Mueller died a couple days ago. Okay. And if it was very, very quiet. You didn't hear much really from either side. Like, I didn't hear anything from anybody regarding Robert Mueller's death. But when I look at how many bridges the left, the Democrats have burned, have just not only burned, but just dynamited. Okay. Chuck Schumer calls voter ID, the SAVE Act, Jim Crow 2.0, to evoke what you said, to evoke that Pavlovian emotional response, so that we, as black folk, as the over emotional blob that they've been treating us as, so that we get on board with giving illegal aliens the same voting rights and everything that we have. Basically trying to sucker us into once again going against our best interest. And mind you, this is the political party with people like the current governor Kathy Hochul, who said that black kids in the Bronx don't even know what a computer is. That 2024. Have you seen that, by the way?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you saw that. I'm sure. But did you see the other clip? Did you see the other clip that in 2025 where she goes?
What did she say?
She told black folk. She's in a black church, standing in the pulpit, telling black folk don't spend these, because she was giving out these like $150, $200 tax rebate checks here in New York. And she's in a black church, and she's telling all these people, she's telling all these black folk, don't spend it all at the liquor store, don't spend it all here. I'm like, what?
Yep.
These people, again,
let's not forget about Newsom too.
Gavin Newsom, yeah, we saw that. I know you saw that. You probably have a video out of that.
Hey, what do you expect? What do you expect from a party that back in 2024, one of their, I think it was 2020, maybe it was 2020, their idea of a brilliant get out the vote strategy was literally to create a produced video, get your booty to the polls. and they have someone literally twerking. Look it up. I'm not lying to you.
I've seen it.
And there's like, okay, yeah, these.
I thought you were going to say no voting, no fucking.
I didn't hear that one.
What was that?
You never heard
What's
about
that?
Oh,
it's disrespectful, man. It's disrespectful to black people.
Hold on.
It really is.
For the benefit of the audience, I'm gonna tell you what. No voting, no fucking. So I don't know which. I think it was blackpeoplemeet.com. It was one of these like online dating sites that were trying to get people, one of these whole get out the vote things. And they just flat out told encouraged heterosexual black women seeking men, that just encouraging them to, if you're not voting, you don't get no pussy. That's basically what it was saying. No voting. You don't. If you're not voting, you're not getting no booty. That's what it was. No voting. I will find that video. I'll find the clip. I do know where it is. But
that is unbelievable.
But they're flat out telling black men, you will not have a chance at one of your own women if you're not gonna go and vote. And damn sure if you're not gonna vote the way they want you to.
Honestly, this is a very feminine strategy too, if you think about it, because I know this because on the dating apps, and I heard about that. I remember this back when I was still on the dating apps, what was it? 7-8 years ago, something like that. I don't know. You'd see already you would see women being on a dating app, white women usually, but women of different races being what do they say? If you voted for Trump, swipe left. If you, I don't want any Republicans. I don't want conservatives, stuff like that. Now I'm sure it says fascists and stuff all the time. And this is it's a funny strategy. I think it's clearly the Democrat Party has become very, very feminized, right? Very, they're always putting women out as their presidential candidates. They're frequently, but not there's anything wrong with having a woman as a politician, right? But this strategy is it's you don't listen to me, you won't get any pussy. It's all right, man. First of all, it's not even how it works, right? So if I do agree with you about everything politically, we're gonna get laid. That's not how it works. Either you like me or you don't. And any man understands that. And it's that's a very feminine strategy, and they made a black version of it. It sounds like, because the white girls already been doing that for a long time.
Oh, boys, I found it.
You found it?
Oh yeah, I found it. It didn't even take me long at all to find it. Yeah. Prepare yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, for some ignorant shit. This is what they did. This is what they did to us. This is how they were trying to get the black folk to vote in 2020. All right, and Damani, is your chair equipped with a seatbelt, sir?
Huh?
I've never seen this. This is gonna be hilarious,
sir.
Nope. I'm just we're doing it live.
Strap in, bro. Fuck it, we're doing it live.
Here we go. Yeah, look at this ignorant shit. Look at it. Oh my God, here we go.
Oh boy. No fucking. Oh my God. You turn this up, Isaiah? Is there volume on it?
Here we go.
Is that Trina? Is that Trina?
No. Hold on. Y'all see that big black dude, right?
Yeah, who is that?
That is Saucy Santana.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, Damani should know who that is. Hold on. I'm gonna bring it back up. Here we go.
It's voting season, bruh. No voting, no loving. No voting, no touching. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking. No voting, no fucking. No voting, no loving. No voting, no touching.
You gotta be kidding me with this shit, man.
No voting, no fucking. No voting, no fucking. BLK app looking for some action. Why the homie stop what's head.
Now hold on. Before I go any further. Before we go any further.
Democrats did that?
Yes.
The Democratic Party did that?
No.
Of course.
Who else would have thought of putting some boy, I'm trying so hard.
That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. That is so condescending.
Ooh, listen.
I mean, I get there might be some stupid motherfuckers out there, like some stupid ass men look at it, it's like, I better go out and vote because I'm not gonna get laid.
Who thought it was a good idea to put one of the most ignorant gay black men?
He's saucy
on this thing, on a PSA, telling black women, if you don't think of the diabolical nature of it, a gay black man who is infamous for going after heterosexual men, trying to turn them out, right? Telling black women, heterosexual black women, that if this nigga don't vote the way you want them to, you must withhold the good.
Oh man,
maybe that'd do our community some favors. Let's be honest. I mean, we're gonna have fatherless homes anyway. That's what the next thing the Democrats like. So it's like maybe that's an ad that could ultimately step on its own toes. Who knows?
I mean,
that's funny, man. That's funny.
This was 6 years ago, and yeah, it was Trina. That was Trina who did
that. Was Trina.
That was Trina. Oh my God! Like again, but this is what we were dealing with. This is what black men in particular have been dealing with when it comes to the Democrat Party. Okay. Like when I want to also hit you with this for a second. Like this is the representative of black men when it comes to, I'm talking about like in 2026. Okay,
oh boy.
This is who black men. This is the type of black men that the Democrats like.
We're in the middle of a hostile government takeover. I want to talk about it, but I'll be late for work. And if you say wait a minute,
that one right there.
We had one, but she didn't want that lady in office. Hostile government.
Like that's what they think of us, bro.
Yeah. Very useful use of their time, huh?
Damani, have you not seen that?
Nope. Bro. Nope. I mean, but why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? Let's be honest. I mean, there's no low that the Democrat Party won't stoop to. Essentially, they're, it's frustrating because, every time I think I've seen the craziest, most insulting thing in the world, I see something new. And the worst part of it is, if you dare to say, that is offensive, then they'll come after you like it's your fault. Like, hang on a minute. Like, I'm trying to say that we can do better than this. But you're sitting here telling me, no, I can't. And how is that not bigotry of low expectations? I mean, it is. But, that's... Yeah. You mean to tell me that when Megan Thee Stallion came out, shook her ass for Kamala, that you weren't like, you know what? I need to vote for Kamala. I gotta vote for Kamala now. After I saw that ass. If I had an undeveloped prefrontal cortex, maybe that would work on me. But sorry, unfortunately, I do. So that sophomore mentality doesn't work on me anyway. And let's be honest, most of these women out there, if you don't vote for Kamala or Democrat, then you're not going to get with me. Then why wouldn't you? I mean, even if let's just play this game. Okay, let's say I did what you wanted. You don't want men anyway because y'all are the first ones turning against men. And then even if I did get with you and let's say get you pregnant, and guess what? You're going to go around to the Planned Parenthood and take care of that real quick. So ultimately, it's self-defeating. Why would I do any of that if I already know how that's going to play out? Think about that. But people don't think because Megan Thee Stallion came out and shook that ass, man. She shook that ass, and that's all I need to see. As soon as I see that her come out here twerking that ass, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go out there. I gotta register to vote, whether I'm an illegal alien or not. I gotta register to vote, and I gotta vote for Kamala, man. Let's ask Tory Lanez how that worked out for him. I see that cake jiggling, man. I gotta vote for her. But anyways, yeah.
And even when it came to Kamala Harris, right? Even when it came to Kamala Harris in 2024, this is a woman who was all Indian all day long. Okay. She claimed nothing but her Indian heritage for the vast majority of her career. Never once mentioned her Jamaican father. Okay. When she was vice president, the man lived not too far from the White House. Okay. She didn't go to see him hardly ever from reports I've read. Okay. And only started to claim her Jamaican heritage years ago when the only time she had done it before was when she needed to get marijuana legislation taken care of in the state of California.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yet that's the one, and then yet this is the woman, and yet that was the woman that these people destroyed their primary, the Democrats destroyed their entire primary process for in 2024. Handed her gave her all of the delegates she needed and $100 million in less than 3 days, over $1.5 billion in 107. Like the whole campaign was 107 days. For those of you who might not remember, I don't know, man. Like I've just been. It's insane. It's insane what they've been talking about. I do want to but there is one thing I wanted to show you real quick. I found this fascinating. It was a conversation between Mark Lamont Hill. This was on a Joe Budden podcast, and this was a conversation between Ish, one of Joe Budden's co-hosts, and someone I know you got to be familiar with this guy, Mark Lamont Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had any run-ins with him?
No.
Okay.
I know who he is though.
Okay. Yeah. Well, who don't? He run a shitty a coffee shop in Philly, and he a communist. So like work that out. Like how that work? But no, this is a conversation. There's been a lot of talk here, in New York, or New York City in particular, about how Zoran, the boy mayor, who didn't have who did not have a big cohort of black folk voting for him, surprisingly. He wants to lower the estate tax threshold from $7 million to $750,000. And this is one of the most fascinating conversations I've seen in urban radio, okay, where a guy who's been through this process is trying to show literally trying to show people this is really, really, really going to hurt black folk as a whole. I want to get some of your thoughts on this on the other side, because I found this to be absolutely fascinating.
Some of the dumbest shit you ever heard. First off, we have a really wide broadcast.
Yeah.
But we got to think about, we talking about New York
State,
right? And so when you start thinking about people in New York, especially in New York City proper, so that's the 5 boroughs or anything remotely close, what he's doing, he's taking the rates from 16%. His proposed new rate is 50%. That's a different level of a jump.
For the inheritance tax?
Yes.
The inheritance
one.
tax.
And then the
is there
rate
a cap, pardon me for interrupting, is there a cap?
7 million, I believe is
no. The old start of the inheritance tax used to be $7 million.
That's where you start getting.
That's where you start to get taxed.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm not mad at that.
He wants to drop it to $750,000.
No,
so if you start taxing New Yorkers at $750,000, for those of us that live in the area, there you can't find a house in the 5 boroughs for $750,000.
You can't find a 1-bedroom apartment.
That's my point. And so now
he's absolutely right about that. I do want to just jump in real quick. $750,000. If we're just basing this on the house, ladies and gentlemen, on people owning a home, it is very, very. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it's impossible to find any house in I'm talking house, like a structure that you would consider a home, freestanding. Okay, in Texas, forget it, right? But a house kind of like that in Texas would run obviously in the millions, and it would be vertical. Okay, But
wait, here in Texas, we just drove around earlier today. We were driving around this afternoon, and we're looking at houses that are still being built right here. You're talking probably 3,500 square foot, nice 1 or 2 story brand new homes going for $650. Just to give you an idea of how different things are down here in the Houston area. You can get a whole lot. Like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was lower than that. It was lower than that, I thought. I thought you could get houses. Wait a minute. I thought you could get houses like that for like 4 or 5.
You can. Well, you can get some, but like the quality might be a little bit lacking. But starting from the 4 range, like 4s up to 6s, you can get a whole lot of house down here.
Yeah, man.
You know,
because I hung out down in Cyprus, in the Cyprus area down there, and then there's a lot of house down in that part for that kind of money. But here we go.
Yep.
You're starting to impose way more I don't want to call them sanctions, but way more stress on the poor and the middle class that you ran your campaign on uplifting. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. It's bullshit. So, and this is what I want people to understand. Yo, when you start talking about taxing the billionaires and taxing the rich, especially when it comes to inheritance and all that other shit, the term trust fund babies comes from somewhere. They don't pay taxes like that. They put all of the assets and they put all of their money in a trust. And when you die, your trust don't get taxed. So now you putting all this pressure on motherfuckers that don't have the information or don't have the resources to carry out their inheritance that way. And a lot of people, especially in our communities, black and brown, we come up off of insurance policies. We come up off of real estate inheritance, et cetera, et cetera. That's how you gain a leg in the quote unquote wealth gap. Right. So now if I inherit a house that's $1 million and I gotta pay $500K on $1 million, I ain't inherit shit. If my parents bought this house for $500,000 when I was 10,
that's
now it's nuts.
And so, for New York City.
Now, what's fascinating is that these are conversations that you would never, ever, ever think that black men were having amongst themselves. Because remember, they don't like when black folk, they don't like when men in general, and by they I'm referring to leftists, they don't like when men in general talk amongst ourselves about things that matter. So to see this, so to see something with this kind of implication, with like gigantic financial impact on people discussed like this is it's really a breath of fresh air. But I want to hurry up and get to Mark Lamont Hill.
I think it's counterproductive again, based on what he said he was going to do for the middle class and the poor. It don't even to propose it to me is asinine. Whether it gets voted on or not, just to propose that means you, in my opinion, you have a disconnect on what's going on out here.
I'm not mad at the 3 to the 5 for the other. For the million, but the inheritance at $750 is crazy to me,
bro. Even $1 million.
So you don't think people should be taxed at all?
No, they should, but the threshold, especially for New Yorkers, should be higher.
Yeah, like we again, it's an industry specific thing. I want somebody in Cleveland to be like, "Yo, these motherfuckers are stupid," or somebody in Indiana to say we stupid.
Yeah, we talking about New York.
Yeah,
you literally can't get a 1-bedroom condo in New York for $700,000.
And people don't understand that worldwide. So again, that's why I'm prefacing it with, "Yo, dog, we talking about New Yorkers." So if you're talking about people that are struggling in the Bronx, people that are struggling in Queens, people that are struggling in Brooklyn, your family passes away, they leave you this asset that may be worth $2 million. Y'all gonna take $1 million of it? Like, get the fuck out of here. That shit don't make no sense. And again, they keep trying to pawn it off as
I don't think that's what's happening. That's not what the policy is.
Oh, okay. Tell me more.
Yeah, so I want to pull up. I'm trying to pull up the exact policy. But it first of all, it's on estates, right? So it's not just on houses. It's on like the estate. So if I have just to be clear. So if I have an estate of $5 million, the idea is if I'm leaving that to you, you have to pay taxes on it. It doesn't mean that if the estate might be valued at $1 million. If I leave you a house for $1 million, I haven't even sold the house. I don't have to cough up $500,000. Okay, but I do have to pay taxes on part of it, and the reason for it, to me, and I want to put up the exact numbers so we can get into exactly what it looks like on the ground, because I didn't know this. I only knew the first part of the story that I brought up. Ish brought this to us this morning, so I didn't get a chance to read into it beforehand. But it's important to know that the top rate is 50%. Not all of it is 50%. Okay. So if
that's still like that's any better.
what I find, and the rest of it is fantastic.
Taxation is theft. Can we just agree on that?
Thank you. Yes.
I mean, when we come down
Especially
to
a
even like in a
state
state like
tax.
Texas, yeah, we've got a state tax, and you got down here in Texas, you got property taxes, right? So basically, you're telling me you're renting basically from the government forever, even after you pay off your house. I'm sorry.
That's
one of the
crazy.
things they should be
Yeah.
teaching kids in school, they don't teach kids in school on purpose, is how to use the tax code to your advantage. Because why would they teach you how to actually try to get ahead? I mean, Kathy Hochul, she said a couple of days ago, she's begging people who left, wealthy New Yorkers who left New York, to come back from Florida because she needs their money to pay for social programs, right? Because she's going to tax you to death. The fact that we've got our taxes and that are being wasted most of the time, there's never been a better time to really get good at learning the tax code and figuring out how can I maximize the deductions that I can take to give the government as little money as possible. I don't care if it's a Republican or Democrat in office. I want my money to be mine. And one of the biggest scams in history, sorry I'm ranting here, but I have to say this, one of the biggest scams in history is the whole phenomenon of the tax refund. Oh my gosh, thank you, governor, for giving my money back to me that I gave to you to hold as an interest-free loan for an entire year. Thank you so much for that refund. I'm going to go out and blow on something random. It's not going to mean anything in 5 months. They've gotten us into this mentality where we view them giving us our own money back as some sort of amazing phenomenon. And to me, it's one of the most frustrating things that makes me see red. I just had to have that rant and just get that all out there. So thank you.
No, very well said.
Extremely. But now because I'm just because I'm like that, I'm going to extract a little bit more out of you, because I actually have that clip. I have that clip. Because I want people to, for the benefit of the audience, I want people to hear what Kathy Hochul actually said. And I said, Kathy Hochul is such an unbelievable fucking loser. It's hilarious. And here's why it's hilarious.
Being conscious of the facts that I need people who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state. Right? Now, there are some patriotic millionaires who stepped up. Okay, cut me the checks. I mean, just if you want to be supportive, but maybe the first step should be go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home. Because
why the fuck would they come back home, you idiot?
So I philosophically don't have a problem. It is like I have to look at the fact that we are in competition with other states who have less of a tax burden on their corporations and their individuals. And I would say remote work changed everything. There were people who could only work in an office in Manhattan or work in New York State, and they were captives to our state. They were going to stay. We saw that that's not the case. I mean, Wall Street businesses looking at Texas, they're not going there because they have a nicer governor. I know that for sure. But they're going there because of the tax rate. We have to be smart about this.
As opposed to that drivel that you just came out with right there.
Unbelievable. Why would they, we got to bring these people back from Florida. Why would they come back? What are you going to do? Force them to come back? Coerce them to come back? Like, what are you going to do? I don't know. I don't get it. Okay, we'll come back and cut you a check so you guys can waste it on massive fraud.
Please come back and give us money to help us cash the checks that we wrote. Like all of the social programs that we promised these illegals and everyone else who should not even be here, or B have been basically living off of the social dollar for so long, and they're at the point where they're begging multimillionaires and you guys, I really don't think Democrats understand how badly they've effed themselves on this. Okay. COVID, the pandemic, was the largest upward transfer of wealth in human history, and it was led by Democrats. The rich do not want to come. Y'all have been out here since 2020 screaming about how much you want to tax the rich every other fucking day. Y'all can't go 30 seconds without talking about how much you want to tax the rich, how much you want to take from those who have and give to those who don't, so that they will, so that the people who don't have will be your voters for all eternity. That's what this is all about. And now here we are, these same exact people. You can't, like, you wrote a check, you can't cash it, and you did so while chasing people out of your state. You, like, the amount of shit talking that leftists do here in the state of New York, in every single blue state across the country right now. The fact that these people feel so entitled to Americans' money so that they can launder it overseas. They're still, these people, Damani, correct me if I'm wrong, but these people are operating like USAID still exists.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
you're right.
Like they're gonna get that money back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those days are over, folks. USAID died within the first 3 months of Trump, of the second Trump presidency. It ain't coming back.
No, it might come back.
It might come back if a Democrat.
Well, think about it.
Democrats get back into power, yeah.
Well, think about it, though. The core of the left is the exploitation of a victim class. So they're always going to need to ingratiate themselves to individuals who are perpetually in need. And they are also simultaneously going to strip away that upward agency from those individuals, so they maintain the permanent victim class that they have to appeal to.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, if individuals are able to be successful, if they're able to aspire to be more, to earn more, to keep more of their own money, then what use do you have for the modern Democrat Party? You don't have any. So they have to keep you in this very delicate balance of just giving you enough, as one was it Nancy Pelosi, as they call it, crumbs, right? They have to give them just enough crumbs to keep them moving, but never enough to actually truly be free. And that's one of the cruelest forms of manipulation I think that exists, is keeping someone in a state of arrested development to exploit them election after election for your own purposes.
Great point. Yeah.
It's infuriating, and like I said, I'm a former Democrat, and this is one of the reasons why I'm so as infuriated as I am, because like I was raised conservative, went through a rebellious phase, in my 20s, and I sat there and I supported these people for a long time, and then just to sit here and watch them essentially go back on everything that they talked about. It's like, you guys have basically just, the betrayal is real. The betrayal is real. It drives me crazy. I don't know, man. Let's see. Let me get to something else here. Because I do want to, it's so funny that you mentioned having a peasant class.
Mm-hmm.
The left, when it comes to the left needs a peasant class. Let's talk about what they're doing in Cuba. The stuff that's been happening in Cuba right now over the last couple of days. This prole watching that we've been calling it. For those of you who don't know, a cohort of Code Pink. Who else? I'm trying to think of who else went down there.
I think Hassan Piker, I think.
Hassan Piker.
The dog torturer.
AKA Asmund Gold's bitch. Sorry. I don't like Hassan. I don't like any.
He's a fucking idiot. I can't stand him, man.
But the thing is, I just want to get to this. You have they went down there, I think it was Friday night they went down, and Code Pink and People's Forum and a bunch of different groups, Democratic Socialists of America, they went down to Cuba to effectively boost the necrotic remains of Castro's revolution. I'm just going to give you the first little bit of it from Stu Smith. We'll be seeing him pretty soon. Code Pink flew artists down to Cuba to leave behind a gift memorial. Yes, they actually did this, folks, with red cafes and everything. Watch.
I am helping to leave a gift and vision of humanidad. This is the mural for humanity, and it's going to have little boats with notes in it of love, and it will, the words will go across all the way to the bird on the other side. There'll be fishes and sea life here, and it's from a poem with artists from all over the United States.
Goodness gracious. Just what Cuba needs, a motherfucking painting. Give them some freedom. Another goddamn mural.
50 cents a day, folks. 50 cents
Freedom,
a day is what the average is what the average Cuban makes. And that's if the all-powerful state lets them. Oh, but I got more. Damani, what are your thoughts on this as I move to the next thing when it comes to Cuba?
I saw a meme. It was the like the elites, you know, that meme where you see like elites in the old English elite outfits looking down from a balcony on the peasants. And I saw that being used as an explanation of what's going on in Cuba right now. It's like, okay, so you're going to send some communists over there, you know, and make sure the power is on for them, but they're literally the rest of the entire country's in the dark.
Yep.
How many times are people going to allow themselves to be shown that the leadership cares nothing for them before they actually start asking those questions? Like, why am I so slavishly inured to a politician or to a political party that only seems to benefit to the extent to which they can exploit me? Why is that the status quo? Why does it have to continue to be the status quo? And why is it that the minute that I try to improve my status quo, that is when I get attacked by these same people who claim that they want to help me achieve a better station in life? How does that make sense? It doesn't if you use common sense and basic logic. But there's a reason why those tenets are under attack right now. Is because the minute you start thinking, the minute you start asking questions like that, is the minute the whole apparatus crumbles for the left. So they have to keep you just satiated enough to not ask any questions and just angry enough to only point your finger at the other side and think that eradicating the other side is your key to the better life, when the better life was never what was intended for you by your actual oppressors on the left side of the aisle.
You're right about that. Matter of fact, here's some more of the oppressors from the left. This is ridiculous. The
fuck is that, man?
This is Medea Benjamin. This is the head of Code Pink. This is the little woman who's always harassing Marco Rubio and every other Republican in the House and the Senate. And here we go.
We're here in the Havana Jose Marti Airport. This is just one part of the donations that we brought. There's 6,500 pounds donations. The value is about $500,000. It's a drop in the bucket for what Cuba needs, but it's a show of our solidarity with the people of Cuba and our opposition to what Trump is doing to try to strangle the Cuban people into submission.
Cuba sí bloqueo no. Cuba sí bloqueo no. Cuba sí bloqueo no.
These guys look absolutely unconvinced themselves.
Dude, this is totally teacher forcing their kids to do a project, a political project or whatever vibes here. The kids are sitting there mindlessly holding a sign. It's so infantile, man. It's so childish. But I mean, hey, to props to them. If they really did bring $500,000 worth of aid, very nice. Give them props for that. But it's ridiculous, though.
It's not going to the people. It's not.
Just like all that money that they always what was it for Haiti? a couple of years ago, and it was funneled through the Clinton Foundation. Never seen that.
Oh yeah.
So much of the benevolence phenomenon just winds up being a scam. And the shame of it is there's people who actually need that money, who need those resources. I mean, think about the millions and millions of dollars that have been paid out to what are they called? Somali leering centers or whatever, that could have been better used. I mean, and think about it. Let's go back to taxes for a second too. If we weren't taxed to death in this country, how much more benevolent could we be with the extra money that we were not giving away to the government to waste on their ridiculous pet projects? Just think about that for a second. You know, if I had an extra, couple $1,000s laying around, yeah, you know what? Maybe I'd be able to afford to, donate money to a charity. But guess what? Even if I try to do better, and even if I do earn more income in the future, guess what? The government's going to say, all right, well, we're going to take more of your money now and waste it on a dumb crap that doesn't matter. It's the most infuriating thing. And it's really easy to say, but when do we rise up against it? It's almost become a rhetorical question, because our founding fathers would be sitting here saying we would have been out there going crazy, 20, 30 years ago, if this is what we lived through. They literally revolted over, what was it? Was it a 2% tax on tea or something like that? And they're over there, losing their minds over it. But now we just subject ourselves to it because we don't want to rock the boat. And that goes back to what I mentioned in the beginning. If you don't rock the boat, then nothing's going to change. So it almost feels as if the entirety of the country, the entirety of even the right side of the aisle, almost seems to be waiting for someone else to fall on their sword first. I mean, it has to take some sort of mass disobedience to make any sort of magic happen. But who's going to lead that charge? I think that's a question we all have to continue to ask ourselves, because it's a lot of responsibility that comes with that, and a lot of discomfort. And let's be honest, the vast majority of us out there on the right side of the aisle, we don't want to put our families or ourselves in harm's way. We just want the ability to secure that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So can we do that without some sort of large scale revolt? Who knows? But that's the ultimate goal. We aren't these inherently violent individuals, who are going to go out in the streets and just go crazy. We just want the basics of what it used to mean to be an American. And why does that feel like it's out of reach today?
Because it's intentional. I mean, if my opinion is, it's because it's being intentionally held. I mean, we're talking about speaking locally, these people can't even fix a pothole. I've talked about this. They can't fix a pothole. They can't clean storm drains. The subway system in New York City, I have never seen as many heroin addicts, heroin or fentanyl junkies. I have never seen as many of them in the subway system as I have over the last several days. I've never seen. It's like the decline is a choice. It's a choice. And I want to, but before I get any further, I need to get to.
So I say they do with our money. They do know how to, teach your kids how to be trans, and perhaps get cut off their genitals or get on puberty blockers. And they do know how to teach your kids to hate their own country and to obsess over the fact that there's slavery like 200 years ago, and that we live on quote unquote stolen land. And how to be racist against white people and sexist against men. They do. So their money's doing something.
Yeah. Let me get to some of these chats, because these I got King Spectre 844 said, "Great job, guys! Best show on YouTube. Thank you. We appreciate it,
King Spectre."
We've got let me see. Lenny-Grad's had a lot of good stuff on here. He said they can't trust individuals with their own money. Sad what it's come to. They think they know better than you how to spend your money. Totally insane.
Yep, that's right.
Agree with that. I couldn't agree more with that, rather. He has another thing, government controlling how he spent. That's something different, actually. Let me see. Caesar the Grape says, "I want my super chats." We don't have super chats yet. I don't understand what we got a lot of new viewers tonight. It appears, and and thank you to everyone who's dropped in the chat. We greatly appreciate it. Let's see. Bobby B 292975 said Code Pink stole $500,000 from the U.S. taxpayer. I bet $500,000. Listen.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, actually, you're probably right. I take back what I said.
That sounds low.
That's right.
Low. I mean, and also we're not even talking about how Neville Roy Singham, his wife, is down in Cuba right now, like overseeing this stuff. Like Medea Benjamin's not the only one down there. Neville Roy Singham's wife, and Neville Roy Singham is the money man behind the People's Forum and a bunch of other stuff too, folks. All these No Kings protests that are going on, some of his money's in that too. George Soros, Open Society, all that stuff. Okay, but and yeah, it's crazy what's going on right now. And it's so funny that Nino mentioned this. There was something else that took place. It's actually from the 13th. But I think this applies in to drive home the kind of contempt that these people have for all of society, really. This is from Libs of TikTok. Arizona State Senator Catherine Miranda mocks female volleyball player Kaylee Ray, suggesting that Kaylee isn't competitive because she refuses to play against men.
I have my sports hat on now. It's all about a sports mentality, growing up in sports, being a tomboy. You look pretty healthy. I've played against girls that look like you. You look very safe and strong. But it's a sports mentality when you're growing up and how much competition that you'll take on. So it's not just silver bullet for one community of sports players. It's the individual person on how competitive you want to be. So you grew up one way. I grew up a different way. I would have taken on a man in a heartbeat. I played in
Gee whiz.
the only
What a dumb
girls
bitch.
sometimes in men's sports. But to have a man on my team, I would have welcomed it. But this is just my opinion. So it just depends on the sports mentality of
Absurd.
that individual. And that's why this bill is bad, because you're just putting a whole community of women's sports in one category, when women like me, we have a different opinion. So how competitive
Jesus
do you think you
Christ.
really are?
Oh man.
Senator. As
What type of question is that?
Oh, it's just
That is hideous.
mental
I love
gymnastics.
I love how they're always like, oh, if I was in this situation, then I would have loved X. And it's like this virtue signaling, it's gotta come to an end, man. Like, you don't even lie to me. Like, back in the day, back when you were going through, maybe middle school or high school girls are going through, the last thing you would have wanted is this. So don't sit here now on your high horse being a social justice warrior, virtue signaling, pretending that you would be fully in support of this. I mean, okay, let's think about this for a second logically. What was the big thing that the left was doing less than 10 years ago? Wasn't it all about the Me Too movement?
Yep.
About that harassment. So, okay, you're going to sit there in one breath and say Me Too and all this and that, but then you want men to be in women's spaces. How do you think that's going to end exactly? First of all, if you're a man, you really think you're a woman, you've got some mental issues, you should be far away from most of polite society, okay? But now you want to subject individuals who you know are just physically not able to, in many cases, be as vigorous in defense of themselves as men are. You're going to subject them to essentially be sitting ducks in the one space where they should be able to feel at least a little bit more insulated from that. But because you care so much about ingratiating yourself to, 1% of the population, that you're going to sell out the entirety of your demographic in many cases to these individuals. Why? I don't get it.
I mean, look, if you you guys are making a bit too big of a deal about this, man. If you walk in there in a woman's locker room and you have a long fucking dong and big sack, and you just walk around the shower room in a woman's room, but you say you're a woman, you're a woman. What's the big deal? You're a woman. Everybody wants to see. All of them want to see it. They're totally fine with it. Oh, don't worry, girls. Just a
Right,
woman with an erection. Just a woman with an erection. And not just that, right? That goes with the Me Too thing. But then you're talking about like
this is
like,
no, but this is exactly
any. First of all, if it's any kind of one-on-one thing, right? I mean, one-on-one, any kind of physical sport, and you're going up for, you know, you want to be the state champ. You playing your whole life. You know, your parents raised you, like training you to be the freaking best basketball player, whatever it is, whatever the case may be. And then you're like, okay, well, you're the best women's player. And then, state championship or national championship or a WNBA championship, they got a trans center who's fucking 7'3". You think you're gonna win? You think your team's winning that game? Like, nope. So yeah, it matters. It matters. It matters if you're the girl. It matters if that's your daughter. You know, it could easily, or even if the guy's not 7'3", even if he's like a guard, even if he's like 6'2", he's a man. He's a man who knows how to play basketball against women. Like it's almost certainly gonna be a massive advantage. What the hell is wrong with you? You know,
there's something really demonic about that movement, and I've said this before. Like the fact that the fact that they wanted to push this onto women, they tried to push it on everybody, but the fact that they repeatedly hammered the gender cultism onto women and making this demand that they allow for men to participate in their sports, to me, it's one of like the biggest self-owns that the Democrats could have ever done. I mean, apart from everything, apart from all the other ridiculousness that they've pushed on us over the last decade and a half, the fact that they literally told women who were, again, one of their, we mentioned earlier, like they've had all these minority groups that have been like steadfast on their, on the left, women being one of them. They just systematically went through and just betrayed all of their minority groups. Started with the women with trans. Started with, then it went to the blacks with illegals and other things. It's like, why? That's why I said earlier, these people, I am not convinced that the Democrat Party are going to exist in 5-10 years. Because you don't burn through social capital like this. You don't burn through political capital like this unless you just had pushed all of you just went it all in on people who weren't supposed to be here and cheating. I don't know how you feel about that, Damani.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to exist at least in the same way it is now. I mean, especially the more that the truth comes out, like the more that independent media is more prominent, and legacy media, which is obviously a propaganda arm for the Democrat Party and the left, for the most part, besides maybe like Fox News and a couple conservative publications. Like, it's complete propaganda. They totally ignore these stories. They totally the horrendous stories about the trans stuff, the gender stuff, the open borders murder, the illegal immigrant murders and rapes that are the recidivism, the multiple arrests of people, 30 time arrests, 50 time arrests, and then they finally kill or rape somebody. It's like, because they won't keep them in prison. It's like these stories are ignored by the legacy media. And if it ever pops up in people's algorithms, like, oh, it's fake news, or it's a quote unquote right wing talking point. So I think but the more that legacy media like either has to like start telling the truth, or it just goes away, and independent media keeps on telling the truth, and the algorithms can't hide it anymore. Hopefully, like, Democrats are not. You're right; they're not going to exist anymore if they keep pushing this, because it is absolutely insane. So many of these things are just so insane. They can't even, like, they're pro criminal. They're always for the criminals, including violent criminals. They're always for for perverts. They're for mutilating children, puberty blockers, men and women's sports, open borders. I can go on, but those are some of the most egregious. Obviously, all this fraud, massive fraud going on. It's like, right. What would you say you do, Democrats, for the people? What would you say is the selling point here? Because the only thing they run on is Trump's so terrible and he's a fascist.
But why are they for all these things? Think about this strategically.
That's the question.
They are for all these things because the Democrat Party thrives on anarchy. They thrive on lawlessness. If they are able to maintain anarchy and lawlessness as the status quo, then they essentially have an entire built-in army of perpetually aggrieved, angry individuals who feel like the system has been built against them when they essentially have been made foot soldiers in this, on this battlefield, if you will. So they want to have this chattel property, if you will, that they can pony out there like foot soldiers almost. Okay, if this line gets mowed down, the next one's going to come in their stead, right? But they have to have these individuals who are willing to be the foot soldiers in this anarchist revolution. And this is a page straight out of the Marxist playbook. This is not by happenstance. They've done this surgically almost. The whole point of the whole way you overthrow a country is by utilizing many of Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals. And if you just look at that book and read that book, that will tell you everything that the left has done, everything they will do or will recycle and use again, because it's just a tried and true playbook. It works. It gets results. But they have to have enough individuals who are willing to sign on to that. And that's why we are where we are today.
And Damani, to that point, you could also talk about the Yuri Bezmenov. I'm sure you're familiar with him, with the Russian KGB guy from I think 1984, defected from USSR, and he talks about it for at least 15, 20 minutes in his interview in the 80s, saying that he calling these people useful idiots, the left you're talking about, and how the Soviets at the time were 60s, 70s, even probably before that, even the 50s, I think. Were courting journalists and courting Western journalists and Western professors and academics and that sort of thing who believe in Leninism, Marxism, Maoism, and that sort of thing, and how they're pumping that into the soft brains of the American people in the West, and we're seeing the fruits of it. He said there's subversion and demoralization happening, and we're at different stages of that demoralization right now and subversion. Both of those things are going on. He was saying that we were already deep into that in the 80s. So we're very deep into it now. And it just goes exactly what you're saying. These are useful idiots used to try to bring down our country. Like they try to abolish the police, defund the police. And they said, we're saying abolish. These are Maoists. The BLM people were Maoists. Like they're openly Maoist Marxists, openly. They said that. They wanted to abolish the nuclear family. It said on their website. And I think they took it down. Making people hate the police and love the criminal kind of thing, right? That's some of the things he said that's what they're going to, that's what I think he mentioned that in his speech as well, Yuri Bezmenov. So, but it's exactly right.
My little one just came into my office here. I have a little 2-year-old daughter here. Yeah. Where's your outfit? Where's your outfit, huh? Oh, you got a Band-Aid. Y'all can keep going. It's all good.
No,
go get some night clothes on. You can come say hi.
We pause for the babies around here. Right?
You can bring her back when she has her outfit on.
My daughter was doing that an hour when the show was starting. She's like, da. But
she's like, why are you in your office? It's Sunday night.
Well, don't work.
Yeah, exactly.
We're almost done, baby. We almost done. Whenever I hear one of them little girls, I think of my nieces. I have 2 nieces now, and they are not that small anymore. my firstborn niece, I have 2. They're sisters, so like the firstborn niece is 11, and will probably be 6 foot by the time she turns 15. And my and her sister is 6 years old now, and my wife is convinced that she's been here before. Because my wife, like I just got married in we got married. My wife Karine and I, we got married in July, and my baby niece loves her to death. Okay, could not wait for the day. I've got this really. I'll find the picture in just a sec. But last time we were down in Baltimore a few weeks ago, and we saw her, and she was just so happy to see her, and she's like, "Well, now," and she says in this really, really small voice, she goes, "Aunt Kareen, now that you're married, you and Uncle Isaiah can have children."
Wow.
Like, yeah, I was, oh God, thinking that, yeah, I've been, I don't know, I love being an uncle. Been a life changing situation.
It is a beautiful thing being an uncle, man, and being a parent. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you boys have the life. You have, I'm serious. You boys have the life at being dads. It's not easy. But it is a beautiful thing. Very fulfilling, man. How many children you got, Damani?
Oh, just one.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Same here, brother. Yeah.
Let me see.
Hey, one is enough for now. I mean, the wife starts giving me a look, and the wife is like, "Hey, we could handle another." I'm just like, "Do you see where my hairline is? Like, my hairline's gone back a good probably half inch since the first one came along, but it's been worth it."
It's an interesting age too, brother. Like my daughter's around almost the same age, and she's starting to get really mischievous.
You want to come say hi?
Come here. Bring her up.
I'll take care. Can you say hi?
Say
hi. You see other people? We're just talking.
Hi.
This is little Lila right here. She's 2 years and 3 months now. Almost 3 months. Yeah. Do you see yourself right there?
Oh man, how you doing? You okay? You being a good girl?
She's keeping daddy on her toes, isn't she? You can sit here with me if you want.
That's so funny.
So there is one last thing. I don't want to keep you too much, but one last thing that I want to go over. How much of a urbanist problem do you have down there in Texas, in your neck of the woods?
Urbanist, what do you mean by that?
Bike lanes, like bike lanes, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, do you mean more like gentrification in general?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, it really depends on the area. Out here in like the Houston area, it really depends on where you're at in the city. The closer you are to the city, if you're inside Loop 610, hey, these are mine. If you're inside Loop 610, that's where you're going to have a lot of those higher priced, gentrified areas, for lack of a better term. But go see mama. I'm almost done. Go see mama. Say bye, everyone. Say bye.
Bye. Good night.
Can you blow a kiss? Can you blow a kiss? All right, fair enough. Love you, baby. But where we're at, like the northern side of Houston, if you will, there's a lot more sprawl out here, urban sprawl. So it's not nearly as crazy as it could be. But who knows? I mean, the city life comes for all of us. I feel like eventually we're going to get to a point where the city, Houston is so big. Like we'll drive from one side of Houston to the other. It takes an hour and a half. It's just that big.
Really? Because of traffic or
traffic and just like the urban sprawl. But I will say that as far as like our goal, one of the reasons we moved to North Houston as well was just to get out of Harris County. Harris County is a known blue hotbed full of radical Democrats who are hell bent on destroying the city and that county. So the best thing we could do was actually get out of Harris County. So being in Montgomery County has been a lot better. It's a very, very deep red county, but
beautiful.
As is tradition for leftists, if you build a wonderful, amazing, God-fearing countryside red county, they will find a way to move up in there and try to mess it up. So they're doing that even here in Texas, like they always do, because misery loves company. Let's be honest. The only reason they come from California to Texas is because they realize they destroyed California and they want to come here to Texas and mess us up too. That's why we've got James Tallarico running. What is he running for? Is he running for governor? I forget.
Jasmine Crockett's seat, I thought. No.
Yeah, Congresswoman? Or was it Senate?
No.
Oh, she's running for Senate.
She was running for Senate. No, but Tallarico, I forget what he's running for. I don't really pay attention to them.
I think he's running for Senate.
He might. Yeah, it is Senate. But he's running around talking about God is non-binary and trans. He's not gonna. He had the nerve to talk about how a couple years ago in 2022 he said his whole campaign was vegan, and they weren't buying any meat or whatever. And now he's trying to backtrack from that. This guy just hasn't met a controversy he doesn't like. But this is what we're up against. And it's like they come here to our state, and our state still has some problems, right? Greg Abbott, one of the biggest issues I have with him, and this is one thing that separates those on the right from the left, is like we can call it our own as well. Greg Abbott, one of his biggest failings has been how he has ostensibly cozied up to many radical Muslim allied individuals, which is why you see an explosion of mosques in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I personally love DFW. I'd love to move back there someday. But we've got issues here. And it's like we can't have nothing, to borrow that turn of phrase. Just can't have nothing. They will find a way to try to mess it up one way or another, whether it be by outright Democrat control or compromising or tainting the Republicans who are in office. So, I mean, that's what we're dealing with down here in Texas. So, even though those of y'all up there in, if you're in New York and whatever, you're going through it differently, we are having to play defense like never before here in Texas just to maintain what little freedoms that we do have left. And it's getting exhausting, but the work continues and the work must be done.
It's scary, man. Like it really bothers me because it does seem like, they can come, and I'm hoping like because of independent media, people trying to see it, but it's like they can destroy California in so many ways, so many blue states and cities, which almost every big city seems like a blue city. Which I don't know if has that always been the case? I don't know. But like Texas now, they're invading Texas. It's like, it almost seems like there's nothing you could do about it. I don't know what you could do about these people coming in and taking over your state, taking over your cities. Like, I don't know.
Well, we talk about, we got Southern hospitality down here and whatnot, but the only way that a lot of these transplants who come from the other places will get it is if they start being made to feel very uncomfortable. Like, I'm sorry, you came from California. Okay. All right. Well, guess what? You're in Texas now. And if you're going to take your little 6'5" self in the women's bathroom, you're going to find out the hard way that in Texas, we don't do that. Okay. But you have to be made uncomfortable. You can't, like, the whole hospitality. Oh, everybody's so nice and loving. Yeah. Well, we're not going to be that way to conditions what is anathema to, our way of life. So you have to deal with that. And it might feel a little counterproductive, but it has to be done because these people will come here and they will turn your kindness against you, and then they'll make you think that you're the one with the problem. And
it's crazy. It's like absolutely not. How like again, like they leave the state that they're in because of the Democrat and leftist policies, progressive policies, and then they want to turn that state, the new state, into a Democrat progressive state. It's like, what the hell? How does that even work in your brain?
Yep.
Do you like to move? Do you just like to move a lot? Is that your hobby, is to move? Be a nomad? Like what is you like? What it means? You know what? That didn't work. This progressive ideas are stupid. We're getting way too taxed, way too much crime, way too many homeless people. Way too much fraud, way too much illegal immigration. I think we should maybe start kind of voting red a little bit, voting Republican or conservative, because obviously the other way didn't work. That's why we moved. That's why we fucking moved. So like, why do you come to a new state and you're like, well, let's just make this California. It's like, what is wrong with you? It drives me nuts.
Don't California my Texas. That's what we say all the time.
Well,
like, don't, because one of the biggest triggers for, a good old country Texas person is when you see somebody, driving their little Prius with California plates, and you pull up next to the stoplight and they got the whole rainbow hair going on. You're like, oh Lord, like, why can't you? If everything works so well for you, why don't you just stay where you came from?
Why didn't you just stay
but that's what.
No, and I see these cities in Georgia and the South now, Virginia, the Midwest, who used to be like red states and red cities, like becoming like Minnesota. It's like, what the hell is going on, man? Yeah. I mean, it's university indoctrination, and probably that's probably the answer. But anyways, go ahead, Isaiah.
Let me get to this. Well, real quick, I do want to just shout out Gabrielle Clark, who is another proud Texas. Says, I'm sick of carpetbaggers. I'm a native Houstonian, and I live near the Gulf of America, and we're getting Californicated. I've been hearing about that.
Yeah.
It's
scary, man.
But the reason why I bring that up, and I don't know, I'm trying not to be. The chat is apparently going off a bit because apparently they're saying that Tim Pool said something about me and the show. I don't know if it's true or not. and I don't even want to address it at the right yet. If I don't even want to talk about it. Let me focus on this. The reason why I brought up the whole gentrification thing is because a previous guest of our show and the vice president of Transport Workers Union, Local 100, Tremel Thompson, a native of Brooklyn, has been killing it with these videos. Just talking about like just how bad the hyper gentrification problem, excuse me, is within the 5 boroughs. They're actively trying to take people's cars here, right? Or get people. I'll let him break it down, but I want to get your thoughts on the end of this, Damani, and then this will be it.
Happening. Bike lanes everywhere, bus lanes everywhere. Now I get bus lanes because mass transit.
They start over.
Let's not get confused. There's a conspiracy against cars in New York City, and they're disguising it as traffic policy because look at what's happening. Bike lanes everywhere, bus lanes everywhere. Now I get bus lanes because mass transit should move fast, but everything else, pedestrian plazas everywhere, whole streets turned into chairs and tables, gentrified picnics everywhere, and cars supposed to fit where? Now you gotta pay just to enter Manhattan below 60th Street. I believe that's only the beginning. Congestion pricing, and if they don't close that budget gap, they're already talking about expanding metered parking citywide and charging you to park near your own home. So now your car's the revenue plan. Then they slowing everything down. 15 miles per hour near schools, 20 miles per hour across the city. At this point, traffic is moving on sleep mode. And don't worry, cameras everywhere, 24/7, waiting to catch you slipping. Now let's talk about these bikes. They easing penalties for cyclists, removing enforcement, basically letting them freestyle. So cars, taxed, tracked, slowed down, restricted. For bikes, do whatever you want. And here's the part nobody talking about. They mixing bike lanes and bus lanes on the same streets, basically in the same space. That's a disaster waiting to happen. But that's another conversation. Because when you really step back, this ain't random. This is a pattern. More tolls, more cameras, lower speeds, less space for cars. And next up, more meters. And here's how they sell it. They go tell you it's about the environment. Less cars, less pollution, cleaner air, but at what cost? Because here's the strategy. Make it expensive, make it inconvenient, make it stressful, and people stop driving. Then they say, oh, look, less cars. No, you force people out, so let's stop playing games. This is not just traffic policy. Let's be clear. This is a car phase-out policy. Pay attention, because if you don't, you're going to wake up one day and realize driving in New York City ain't even worth it anymore. That's the plan. Follow me, because I'm breaking these things down in real time, and they not telling you this part. There's a conspiracy against cars in New York City.
Now, the reason why I bring that up, okay? This guy represents conductors, train operators, and tower operators within New York City Transit.
He's a union rep, right?
He is the vice president of TWU Local 100. Okay. And like I said, he represents train operators, conductors, and tower operators. This is something that will affect every single transit worker, because there's a lot of transit workers that drive in from Jersey, Connecticut, Long Island, different places. And a lot of them drive into work. Okay. And they're getting affected. They're going to be affected by all of this. I mean, it's not just transit workers. I mean, imagine this. Driving through a school zone at 2 a.m, you're on your way home. It's been a hard day at work. So now you have to think, the one thing on your mind whenever you get off work is, I got to get home, and I want to get home as quickly and safely as possible. But now the cameras are on for speeding in the school zone, and you got to go 15 miles per hour. And the crazy thing is,
wow,
the streets, guys, they just lowered the speed limits in school zones to 20 miles an hour. The city speed limit is 25. So they lowered them down to 15. And this is why I asked you, if you were seeing this kind of stuff down there in Texas. Because I know just because you live in a red state doesn't always mean that the cities are blue, that the cities are going to follow suit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so imagine that 15 miles an hour to drive through a school zone, right? And it's 24/7. This is what's being proposed. They're actually working on doing this right now.
Wow. I hadn't seen anything like that in the Texas, or at least the Houston area. But it's no secret that they're coming against cars. Of course, they've been rallying against and decrying fossil fuels for so long now. It feels like it's part of their baked-in platform. Not only that, they make these cities intentionally hostile to pedestrians, right? But then they turn the tables and say, okay, well, maybe get an electric vehicle, right? That's not a good solution either. But if they are able to get you to not drive, sit at home for the most part, and view just sitting there doom scrolling or doom spending as your default setting, which I would argue COVID was a soft launch for that, then they can control your mind so much better, because the overall average mentality in America is just, okay, I can't afford anything because I've been priced out of everything. Let me just sit at home, do nothing, buy a bunch of useless crap that's not good for me, and I can deliver everything to my house, push of a button. I don't have to go out and interact. So the whole sense of community dies. And when there is no more community, then there is far less ability to exchange those ideas, because the only reason America became a country to begin with was because there were enough individuals who were seeking out like-minded individuals at the pubs or at the libraries or at the town square and having those conversations. So when you effectively kill the community, you kill a large part of what makes America America, what made America America in the past. And then you get individuals plugged into this matrix-like apparatus where they are literally being force-fed the only things that these algorithms know they agree with already. There is no challenging of ideals. There is no exchanging of ideas. There's only rote compliance. There's only being inured to a system designed to destroy you. So then essentially the Matrix becomes real life. It becomes a documentary and not a fantasy movie. And we are very close to that becoming reality.
We are.
Yeah. Another thing is that they've gotten rid of in the community is churches, right? Like it's eliminating, trying to, what do you call it? Ridiculing religion for the last couple of decades, unless it's Islam, I guess, in the schools, and the growth of atheism and deriding of Christianity, that sort of thing. That's a big place where people, including in the founding generation, but now it's like where people come together, feel like an extended family and a community, and come together to talk and have shared humanity and that sort of thing, and do charities and stuff like that as well. So that's another thing that to go along with what you're saying. And also, I'll also add that the algorithms are also not just trying to make us compliant, but they also radicalize people. And as does the legacy media. Like I think legacy media radicalizes boomers in a lot of ways. Like I see, if you're watching CNN all day or MSNBC, for example, you are just constantly being hammered over the head of like how Trump is the worst person of all time. Really, like he's just the worst president of all time. Everything that happens on earth is partly his fault. He didn't plan for it. He's stupid or he's corrupt. And that's just what you're getting hit over your head with all the time if you watch that channel. And if you're watching Fox, you're kind of, you could be getting, I don't know if you're getting radicalized. I think they're much closer to being reality, what they teach, but it's still, they're still telling you like every single terrible thing the left is doing. So it's still kind of certainly like an indoctrination a little bit, but I think they're closer to the truth though. So it's not as bad, but like with the CNN and MSNBC and other channels like that, or New York Times and stuff like that, certain newspapers, they're really just like, for CNN for like the last 10 years at least, they've been talking about, even during the Biden administration, they didn't really talk. I don't think they really complained about Biden much. They kind of just focused on how Trump is still doing bad things in the background and how we might get him this time. And they're looking into him for this. And remember January 6th, they talked about January 6th for like 2 years straight, every day, every single day. I used to watch CNN. I still watch CNN every day. We talk about January 6th every fucking day. You know, and they still do. And it's like they've been obsessed with Trump for 10 years, just constantly. And that radicalizes like boomers that like trust CNN to be like the old CNN of the 90s, right? And they're listening, and they're some of the most radicalized people in the sense that like they hate Trump. They think conservatives are crazy. I know some people like this. They think conservatives are absolutely crazy, that they just support a pedophile and a person who just steals money all day long and shit like that. And he just goes into wars and has no idea what he's doing, and it's just constant negative spin. But yeah, all of these things. So there's that happening in legacy media, and then of course there's the social media and schools indoctrinating kids to be leftists and crazy leftists, and then social media, depending on what algorithm you're on, is radicalizing you. Like if some people are getting caught into probably a far right algorithm as well. Some people are getting caught into a far left algorithm. You have to be following the right people and have a discerning mind to be, more in the center a little bit. So like, I think I consider most of us, like all of us, I think center right more so, because we're not completely carried away with some crazy conspiracy theories and hatred and stuff like that, for the most part. But a lot of people are constantly saying things. Sometimes some of the things they're saying just aren't true. Constantly, some of them are from foreign nations. They're bot farms. They're AI videos. I've seen it myself. People send me things like they said. I saw something of like a picture of Trump with Pam Bondi as like when she was 14 years old, as a young girl, like her sitting on his lap or something like that. And I'm like, I looked it up, and even Snopes told the truth and said, no, that's not true. But people who see that will be like, especially like boomers, they'll see that and they'll be like, oh my God, that's what's going on. That's why he hired Pam Bondi, because she was like an Epstein girl or something like that. So it's just, there's so much misinformation and radicalization going on at different age groups and different forms of media.
And with this AI stuff rapidly evolving, like it's becoming difficult. I mean, even for people who know what to look for, I can't tell you how many times I see some, AI image or AI video. I'm just like, this is clearly not real, but it has 10,000 reactions on social media. People in the comments, oh, is this? And I'll say this. What's worse too is that now, because of how good AI has gotten, I do videos where I'll walk and I'm holding my gimbal with my phone and everything. I'm talking about X, Y, or Z. People have convinced themselves, some people I see in the comments, oh, this must be AI, only because they disagree with my point of view. And they think that must mean that it's fake. And I don't think we are acknowledging just how dangerous of a reality that's becoming when individuals who have been force-fed this algorithmically curated content that everything agrees with me, then they see something that's actually real and they think it's fake because they think the world only conforms to their worldview. It's a very dangerous reality, and we are on the precipice of seeing what that's going to portend for the future. And it's nothing good. Nothing good will come from that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. That's crazy. Thank you for joining us, Damani. We really appreciate you, brother. What are you working on anything for the, I guess, anything you want to talk about, anything you want to promote?
I mean, I'm always working. Thank you so much for having me. I love a good conversation. Wish I had more hours in the day, but I'm still working 9 to 5, just like everybody else out there, and just do my best to still be present as a husband, as a father. So that means the hours are limited. I can't tell you. I think all last week I maybe get 4 hours of sleep per night. That's just, it is what it is in this season of life. But I'm not necessarily working on anything groundbreaking. It's just more of the same. I share lots of content on my social media platforms. If you're on Facebook, you can find me at Damani Brian Felder. Instagram is the Damani Felder. X is the Damani Felder, and TikTok is the Damani Felder as well. So there's different content that's on different platforms. I also have a small YouTube presence. I'm trying to figure out how to do that, but I don't have huge teams of editors. Like I know y'all don't either. People who just you just sit and record, but we have to do it all ourselves. And that's why the support that we get from our communities, any super chats that come in, any sort of, expression of appreciation, it goes so much farther than people realize, because this is not easy. Even though it might be very easy to consume, it's very difficult to put together. And you can see, what's going on all behind me, my office. I'm sure y'all's offices are, we invest in this because we believe in what we're doing and we're willing to put some skin in the game. So individuals who do choose to support our efforts, just know that we don't take it for granted. If you are so inclined, you can find me on those social media platforms. But you'll continue to see me devising multiple different ways to hopefully reach individuals with the truth, because that should always be our foremost goal. So everyone out there who is watching, who will watch the replay, thank you so much for spending your time with us. Hopefully you learned something new, or if anything, just felt like you weren't so alone out there, because I promise you, there are millions upon millions of individuals out there who feel exactly the way you do. You are not crazy. The world around you is crazy. But, the one thing you should take solace in is that we don't know what the future holds, but we know who holds the future. And if we put our faith and trust in him, then there is no need to be worried for the future, because we all know how the story ends. So thank you guys so much for having me. And I really do appreciate it.
I appreciate
Thanks,
that, brother.
thanks a lot, Damani. We got to get Damani on again with Adam B. Coleman, man. I think I'd like to have a combo with our brother Adam B.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah, you're more than welcome to join us again whenever you like, Damani. We greatly appreciate it.
Anything you want to promote, man, let us know, brother.
We got
if you want to in the future. If you want to come back, you got a book, you got a new channel, you got a new segment, a new documentary. Let us know.
Got it. Definitely will do. Thank you guys so much, and I appreciate
it. Appreciate you, brother.
I'm gonna head out. Y'all take it easy now.
All right. Good night, man.
Peace. That was great.
Yeah, smart guy, man. Very smart guy.
I like him a lot. So I don't know if you've been looking at the chat.
No, what's going on? So what? Somebody talking about Tim Pool or something? Or?
Yeah, somebody is saying that Tim Pool. So a couple nights ago, rather, I made a joke about, well, I shouldn't say made a joke. I watched Tim go off on James Lindsay again. Like just going off on him again. It's like every other, and I won't forget at Ardent Party. Thank you for that reminder. I just basically made a video telling Tim Pool to just cool it. Like, because it's like some of the stuff that Tim says out of his mouth when it comes to James Lindsay is absolutely ridiculous. To listen to him say that, that James somehow is a closet liberal, that he actually hates conservatives, but meanwhile, like I don't understand what is going on with Tim Pool. I really don't. This guy, what? Nino is a fantastic. Wow,
that's good. Not another good shit, man.
Not another, yeah. Well, he says.
Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, he says. What did he say? I am surprised you can understand the language. You know what? Yeah, you can go. You can go. Wait.
Oh shit! Go ahead, man.
Said you are James's N-word. What?
Oh shit! Okay.
Whoa.
That's too good, man.
Did he wait? Did he? I haven't even seen this video, folks. Guys, I have not seen this video.
Send a video. Send it.
Yeah, if you're gonna send the video, if anybody screen grabbed it. Matter of fact, yeah, Joker. You're absolutely right. I am going to verify it before I speak on it, because I reached out.
Yeah, you don't want to
that I know.
Start talking shit if nothing's true.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to. I don't want to talk out of turn here. Okay.
Yeah. See what he says. See what he said first, if anything.
Some people said privated. Oh, privated, really? Tim Pool. Did somebody said Tim Pool called you the Uncle Tom of really, Tim? Really? I'm gonna verify it first.
Yeah,
verify it first. Okay, if you guys have, Jake, Ben, and a lot of people are saying this. Brother Isaiah, Tim called you a house end for the Republicans, just like you were for the Democrats before. What?
I thought, all right.
Oh my God. So again, like
Tim seemed like he was in a really bad place. Why do you say that? News
Tim's
Fist.
been in a bad place.
What's going on with Tim?
Tim has been in a very, very bad place.
Hey man, heavy lies the beanie, man.
Heavy lies the beanie. Look, here's my thing. The fact that this guy, I don't know Tim, right? I've never met him. I don't have anything bad to really say about him. Okay. I like I like Timcast. I even gave him credit for the way Timcast IRL is laid out. Like I subscribe to Timcast IRL on my channel, on my own personal YouTube channel and everything. So this is a first. Yeah,
I mean, I like a lot of what Tim Pool said in the past, and even today, I'm sure there's plenty of things I agree with him on. So whatever.
The stoner dude. Wait a minute. The stoner dude that Tim has as a co-host walked off the show after what he said. You say what? Wait a minute.
He's not talking about Phil.
No. Phil, no. Phil Labonte is not. Shout to Phil. Phil is not the. No, I know who he's talking about. He's talking about. Oh God. Why can't I remember his name? His name is right on the tip of my tongue.
We should get Tim.
Glasses.
I think I know what you're talking about. Tim Pool, man, come on and bring your beanie wielding ass on the show. We'll have James on. We'll have a nice conversation, man.
Yeah, Ian Crossland. That's what he's talking about. Ian Crossland. That's who it is. Like, if someone has the video,
you have a good combo.
Okay, you can send it to us. I like I said, this is the first I've heard of it, and the whole chat is just blowing up with it. So I don't know.
All right, that's all right.
Had you seen this, by the way? I did want to show you something.
What's up?
This is something that happened in Costa Rica, apparently. And since you're of Costa Rican descent, yeah, and representation matters. I figured you might like this.
I heard Costa Rica is going in a right-wing direction, which I love to hear, man.
Yeah, here we go. This is the debriefing 17. Costa Rica just crossed a line you don't cross unless the system is being forced open. A former Supreme Court judge and former security minister was extradited to the United States on drug trafficking charges in what Reuters says is Costa Rica's first ever extradition of one of its own nationals. That only became possible after a 2025 legal reform removed the ban. President Chavez called him the, quote, the tip of the iceberg. Reuters also reports he says he's willing to testify and name others if his family is protected. That is not random. That is what it looks like when the cleanup moves past street level traffickers and starts hitting the judicial protection layer, the political cover layer, and the national sovereignty layer, that shield that used to protect insiders. First, the laws change, then the shields come down, then the insiders start moving. The timeline never lies. That's insane.
So as ex-Supreme Court of Costa Rica, right? Obviously not a Supreme Court justice of the United States. Yeah, that's great, man. That's great. I think I was told that by my cousin that they tried to assassinate the current president of Costa Rica or something, or there's like a plan going on to do it in the background from the left, I guess. So maybe that's part of why this is going on too. But I forget.
Yeah, well, I just talked to that. I love it. I actually love that all of this is happening. It's like it's literally as if the entirety of Central America and South America is purging itself of communists and their infrastructure within the infrastructure. I love it. I am perfect. Yeah. So happy that this is happening.
Rubio just went down there too. I think a couple months ago. So I think he went down there to talk to Costa Rica's government, Costa Rica's president. Also Bukele, I think, just went down there actually and talked to the Costa Rican Congress or something like that, and their police. I think like a month ago or a couple weeks ago, honestly. So that they're moving in that direction, which is great. Like that's the way to do it, man. I think they have an immigration problem as well in Costa Rica. So, Nicaraguenses and Venezuelans probably coming in. The Nicas come in and they're they've been coming in for a long time illegally, I think, they cause a lot of trouble. A lot of them, not all of them. Some of them are good people, but it's a socialist country, so they got a lot of issues over there. I think they're, as far as I understand, a lot of times they're raised to hate Costa Ricans. Like there's like anti-Costa Rican songs and stuff in Nicaragua, but that's what I've been told. So,
wow.
Something's got to be done about that. You got to be careful how many of those people you let in. If they, again, just like in America, if people hate your countries, like they probably shouldn't be letting that many of them in there.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Yeah. This guy, because I got time tonight. This guy, Human Centipede, professional streamers, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, guys, this guy in particular. We both have jobs. We both work 9 to 5s. Okay. We have other things that we're doing. This is something that we are working hard here. There's a lot of, but we are not professionals. Okay. We're working towards it. We've been blessed to be doing this show for a little over a year now. So guess what? There's going to be some hiccups here and there. But you know what? To those who appreciate that, to those who can understand that, we appreciate it. Kiba Master says, don't listen to him, Isaiah. This is actually a great show. Thank you for that. I was actually,
thanks, brother. Thanks, Kiba Master.
I was actually, because Stackademic Slages says, Isaiah, I have a question. This has been such a great stream. I wouldn't mind doing it again. Could you restart it from the beginning? Thank you. That's very sweet of you. Unfortunately, well, I tell you what.
Every Sunday.
We do this every Sunday. Well, not every Sunday, because
almost every Sunday.
No, because April 12th, I will be in Colorado with our brother Adam Coleman. We're doing some work out there, a little wet work. Details will be a little bit later. Details to come. And Joker 937. If y'all don't already, you should absolutely follow Joker on Twitter or on X. Okay, this guy,
Joker's the man.
You want to talk about a guy who loves God, who he's always posting prayers and really wanting to get people, to help people find peace of mind. Joker is that dude. I've had a chance to speak to him on several occasions. He's a great guy, great friend of the show. And I mean every word of that. Joker, we love you, brother. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Let me see, dude.
All right.
Dude, I've been
all right. That's one way to do it, man. Hey, we're happy to be your drunken friends, man. Your partners while you're having a couple beers, couple drinks, couple whiskeys.
Yeah. That. I've got Ray and his nephew in the cabinet right now. It's one of the benefits of actually being married to a Jamaican woman.
There we go.
Did I tell you? Did I tell you what happened when we went to? Hold on, wait a minute. Rob Burgos says, Isaiah, serious question. Could you get James Lindsay to debate Tim Pool's woke? He would never do it. No, hold on. Let me back up. Tim Pool would never debate James Lindsay. Seriously, folks?
The invite is out. Hey, just want to say the invite is there though. Hey, Tim, if you don't feel like producing or doing anything, you just want to show up on a stream. I'm sure we can get James on and we'll just have a nice, productive, civil conversation. It doesn't have to be a fucking gotcha, conversation and one-upsmanship. Just have a debate. You want to talk and debate. Try to get to like a common ground. Try to figure out the truth about things.
What I don't
That's
like,
all.
what I don't like.
Come on, Apostate Radio.
Exactly. And listen, we're here for that. We've had debates on the show in the past. I like to think we're in a bit of a better place when it comes to technical stuff, because the last time we had a debate show, I had some technical difficulties on my end, had to cut it off early. But hold on a second. Warmelian says Tim only badmouths from the safety of his studio. How do you not already know this, Isaiah? No, I do know this. Which is why I said he would never do it. I know Tim would never do it, because Tim does not, like, seriously. We've had we had James Lindsay and Joel Berry on our show at the same time after Tim went after Joel. Joel Berry like just blindsided him just out of the blue. Remember that Nino? When we had the both of them on there, and those two, the James and Joel, then proceeded to tease me about bougie cheesesteaks, the motherfuckers. But no, like Joel was blindsided by a struggle session attempt by Tim about James Lindsay. It's like, dude, I told you, you're like, seriously, Tim, I'm not backing down from this, buddy. When it comes to James Lindsay, you right now are acting like Hassan Piker does with Asmund Gold. If you know, you know. And I'm saying that in the chat, folks. If you know, you know. Tim Pool right now is Hassan Piker, and James Lindsay is Asmund Gold. With the way that, like, with the random way, it's like you could be sitting on a park bench, okay? In West Virginia, we'll say. You could be sitting on a park bench, minding your own business. You might even have a Nintendo Switch in your hand. You're playing with Fortnite or whatever. And, you know, if Tim Pool walks by, he'll just go past. It's like, I hate James Lindsay. Do you know that he's a closet? That he intentionally goes in and he infiltrates universities to make them say something crazy. And I'm like, yeah. Are you upset that you didn't think of this? I don't understand. I really don't understand. Tim Pool does not have to be this excessive when it comes to James. He just doesn't. Trying to struggle session the entire fucking, the entire fucking podcast here about where your loyalties are with him. Like, come on, guys. Come on, Tim, don't do this. Seriously. I'm not even trying to be like, the fact that we have had James Lindsay on our show not once, not twice, but 3 times. And he's a regular, like, he's welcome to come on the show anytime. The fact that we've had a guy like James on our show as many times, him and his fucking butter knife, okay, and like true blessing to have him on. All right, if we keep this up, we might actually be able to like do a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles thing, where we cosplay for that for Halloween. You know what I'm saying? Him with the butter knife, you Nino with the nunchucks.
There you go, man. We're gonna start the fucking Ninja Turtles soon, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The podcast is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. First, last, man. It's got a bottle. Just pee in the bottle, bro. Or yeah, pee in that bottle. That's all you got to do. Don't worry about it.
Oh boy.
Do not leave the stream. Do not leave the stream, man.
NPC-BS3PM says this is a good guy right here. He says I saw half the vehicle, that is the video that was secreted. It is nice. It is not nice. From what I know, he needs to be less divisive. Because again, I don't know. Never watched it. I didn't see it, and I don't know. Listen,
Tim has not been the same since he took that Russian money. When did he take the Russian money? Would you guess if that's true? When I'm not asking you, Isaiah, but I mean, unless you have an answer. But the people in the chat who followed Tim more, because I don't really follow him that closely. I've definitely seen a bunch of clips and things like that. But and listen to a couple podcasts. But I'm not, I've been following his career. I agree with a lot of things he said in the past. I think he's a smart guy. But to the people who think that he's taking money from Russia or some kind of, whatever plant or something like that, when do you think this happened, and what kind of changes did you see that made you think that? Just out of curiosity, for me, out of curiosity, why do you think that about Tim Pool?
Good question. Well, that's our show tonight. Wait.
There's some people might be answering the question real quick.
He took Tim. Gamma JK. He says he took Putin's money around the same time he went woke right. It's related, I think. Tenet Media, something. Wait a minute. I do remember Tenet Media.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing something about that as well.
Russia funded Tenet Media. That's right.
Oh,
I do remember that. Joker says, I used to watch Tim every day. I, for one, am not buying into any of this Tim Pool stuff. I'm not either. I really don't. And then Stackademic Slage it. God, I hope this isn't AI. Isaiah, when it comes to Tim, you can't take the bait. That's how they get you. That's how the woke right operate. Like I don't want to listen. When it comes to I don't like internet drama.
Good insight, guys.
If I wanted to get some cheap engagement, listen, it'd be very easy for me to do so. Okay, I mean, think about it. You're talking to the guy who told Chuck Schumer in true New York fashion to go fuck himself, and I got 63 million views. Okay, like who do you think you're talking to here? You know what I'm saying?
Yo. Also, I mean, Russia wants to give us money. Let us know, man. Come on.
I mean, I'm not going to say what. Listen, if you want, if Russia, listen, I need a new car. And I can speak in a Russian accent. There's plenty of Russians down in Brooklyn and in all down here.
I hear you like money, guys. I hear you have no drawers, yes.
Dovrish, we have money here, Guji. We come on, give us rubles, all that, comrade. We've got you. Like
you pretend the podcast, and we pretend to pay you.
Exactly right. I don't get it. I don't get it. I've never understood. Be the bigger man. Listen, I'm 6'3" and I'm over 300 pounds. I don't have the choice to be the bigger man. It's in my fucking nature. Anyway, have you seen me? Like, come on.
It'll be all right, man. It'll be all right.
Yeah. Well, no. I'm actually been losing weight, but I'm talk. That's another conversation. That's our show tonight. We're having next week. We are blessed and thrilled to have Mr. Stu Smith of the Manhattan Institute. If you follow the account Stu Studio, he is the one behind it. He has been following everything communism and Marxism related. This is going to be a pretty big show next weekend, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. We are looking forward to seeing you all at that time. Once again, here from the suburbs of New York City. This is Isaiah Carter and also Nino. Oh, wait, did we hit 600 subs? Hold on, let me double check. Wait, let me just do a quick double check here. Did we hit 600? We are not at 600. We are not at 600. We had like a we had like, it looked like it was 600. We went over 615, it looked like, but now it's down to 594. So I don't know what's going on. But anyways, thank you so much for joining us tonight, folks. We will see you. Yes, please like the stream. Wait a minute. Well, you know what? Hold on. Somebody's asking, do you ever think of doing longer streams?
What would that do? What would that accomplish?
I mean, I don't know.
We already go for 3 hours. So I mean,
I guess we're not gonna. That's a very good question. They have? Usually we do anywhere from 2.5 to 3 hours. Okay, I know some people who will get on here and stream all day. I would do so for charity. I would do so like we're gonna raise if we were gonna we have like a serious crowdfunding thing. Okay.
Oh yeah.
If I wanted to raise if we wanted to raise $50,000, I would do that. You know what I'm saying? Like for 6 hours, 8 hours, however long, sure, no problem. I would do that. Okay. Super chats, we're not eligible for super chats yet.
If you want to give us quite a lot more money, then yes, we will, of course.
Yes. Okay, so super chats. Seriously. Super chats, we have to have over 500 subs. We're already there. And then you have to have over 3,000 watch hours on YouTube to get eligible. We are not eligible yet. We have, as of right now, I'll tell you exactly where we are, and I'll even share it with you, full disclosure. Right now, and I don't know if it's it hasn't updated yet. So we're at 2,189 valid public watch hour views, public watch hours, and 594 subscribers. Okay. Rumble rant. Let me see. Why not offer to read Rumble rants on stream? You know what? I've got to do a lot better with Rumble. I've got to really work on Rumble. If I'm going to be perfectly honest, I got to work on Rumble a little bit. Like the whole Rumble Studio thing. There's like ad reads and stuff like that. So we definitely gotta do better with that. Ortho Republica says this is the most interactive chat on YouTube. We appreciate that. Thank you. Jesus Christ. Leningrad, just got back from the bathroom. Could you guys repeat the last 5 minutes? No, we can't. Ortho Republicus also says you need to get a few trusted mods. People were calling you the N-word earlier. Yeah, I saw that. We did see that.
Oh well, we don't give a shit. All right, let's call it a night, Isaiah.
Yeah. All right. Next week, like I said, Stu Smith from the Manhattan Institute, Stu Studio, will be joining us. Looking forward to seeing you guys there. Thank y'all for joining us. We will see you next